Welcome to Maison FB Radio. Think with me. It's not an attack to any religion for any reason. It's simply my observation. The tools we reach for in an attempt to measure transcendence are the same tools transcendence by definition would exceed. A thermometer cannot tell you something is beautiful. And not because beauty doesn't exist, but because beauty is not the kind of thing a thermometer was built to detect. We understand this intuitively. Yet, when it comes to divinity, we intend to use the thermometer logic, empiricism, material causation, and declare the absence of a reading as proof of absence. And the funny part is, I think the funny part is we haven't disproved in transcendence. I know a lot of people think they have or they can because they don't align with certain religion. So their frustration with that religion kind of gets displaced onto divinity and transcendence, just that. So I get that. That's why I like when I hear them use religion and scripts to either prove or disprove. I'm just like, but are you really angry with that, or are you just mad at your religion? Or maybe you're just mad at your parent because they forced you in it's a lot deeper than that. So I get that. What we actually have confirmed, if anything, is that our tools are not designed for the task of proving or disproving. Absence of evidence is not evidence of absence. Unless your instrument was designed to detect what you're looking for, much of the debate around divinity resides inside the definition trap. And the definitions are what? Written by humans in human language to satisfy human logic. We say God must be all-merciful, all-knowing, and all-powerful. If suffering exists, then God cannot be all three. This is a human logic. Therefore, God doesn't exist. That is internally coherent as an argument about the definition of God. But notice what we quietly did at the start. We wrote the job description, then judged the applicant by it. What if transcendence does not meet our category? What if the question isn't about God passing our logic, but whether our logic was ever broad enough to contain this question? Consciousness, measuring consciousness. Here's what makes this particularly strange. The very faculty we use to reason about divinity, consciousness, self-awareness, the capacity to ask why, is itself the most unexplained thing in the universe. We don't know what consciousness is. We don't know how matter becomes aware of itself, or if matter is actually even aware of itself. You gotta laugh about it, bro. Yo. We cannot explain the first person's experience of being alive. And yet we use the same mysterious, unexplained consciousness as the final authority of what can and cannot exist beyond the material. We are using the mystery to disprove the mysterious. Sometimes I just sit and think like, why do we do that? Like, why are we doing the things we're doing? Like what possessed us to like behave the way that we behave at times when we are behaving the way that we behave, like the thought process and people's like mind and their actions and what they do and what they don't do. And I'm just observing and I'm just like, wow. The ghost is being asked to testify that ghosts are impossible. How about that? The arrogance of scale. Humans are 200,000 years old as a species. The universe is approximately 13.8 billion years. We've had formal science for about maybe like 400 years. And our understanding of quantum mechanics has only been about like less than 100 years. And within that 100-year silver of genuine physical understanding, we understand that reality behaves in ways that defy intuition at a small scale. That observation affects outcomes. It shows us that time is not fixed. that most of the universe is made of things we cannot see or explain. So why is that? Like, why can't we see the things and explain them? Like, if we know so much, right? The more we know, the stranger things get. And yet we draw the conclusion that we know enough to rule out the unknown. This is not a criticism of science. Like I said, my videos are in no particularly trying to attack any specific framework that humans use. And moreover, science is humanity's first collective project at understanding all of this. What my thoughts on these are: criticism of leap, the silent assumption that current frameworks are final frameworks, when I've seen how humans behave in real life. Like, intellectual honesty does not require you to believe. It does not demand faith. I think it requires for us to acknowledge the difference between we haven't found it yet, or we don't have the answer, and it's not there. And I feel like there's a lot of people who are sitting in that it's not there because they're deconstructing themselves from religion, and in the forms of doing so, they're using religion to disprove God, transcendence, divinity, all at once. And to me, when I hear their argument, I just can't help it but really laugh most times. And I don't want to laugh in your face when you're really speaking about something that's passionate to you, but I can't help it because it sounds... Say it to yourself loudly first, hear yourself, sit with it, and then let the whole world know, okay, don't do like I do. Intellectual honesty allows us to know when we've smuggled in assumptions, because we intend to do that. We intend to put our assumptions as fact. To say I do not know about questions, like even day-to-day questions, I say I don't know. I'm not ashamed to say that. It's not weakness to me, whether that's with big questions or little questions. If you ask me a question and I genuinely don't know, I'm not sure, I'm going to tell you I don't know. And if that makes you think of me as someone that's stupid, well, that's on you, but I don't know. I'm not going to sit here and be certain just for me to be disproved later on. And even if I am right, oh well. I think saying I don't know to the large question of divinity is the honest position available to an infinite mind, staring at infinity. The universe is not obligated to be comprehensible to us, and that is if it's comprehensible at all. Why should mathematics describe physical reality? Nobody knows. Why do numbers exist? Nobody knows. Why are they called numbers? Nobody knows. Like, I say, why are they saying that? People are like, I don't know, but that's what they say, so we have to follow it. I'm like, but why? I like to question. I've gotten in trouble a lot of time questioning, but I'm going to question. And if you question me and I don't know, I'm going to say, I don't know. I'm not going to look at it at you trying to be I don't know. I'm not going to process it. That's for you to figure out. But if you get the answer and you want to come and share, please. But as of now, I don't know, but I'm not going to use my limited understanding as a human to sit here and be so confident in saying that, oh God is this, that, and the third. Is all I'm saying. Thanks for listening and sitting with me. I'll see you in the next one.